Usyk is your favorite fighter's favorite fighter.
Yes.
He has a great, I can't remember the last time a guy was so universally loved in a sport as Usyk. He's as real as it gets. He's as skilled as it gets. All the athletes respect him. All the technicians respect him. All the warriors respect him. The media respects him. The fans love him. This is like one of the most likable guys ever in boxing.
Max Kellerman's glowing admiration for Oleksandr Usyk paints a brutal picture for Rico Verhoeven, suggesting he may be stepping into the kind of fight that could permanently damage both his reputation and long-term standing in combat sports. According to Kellerman, Usyk represents a level of boxing brilliance so complete that even the peak version of Mike Tyson would have struggled to solve the challenge he presents inside the ring. If a legend like Tyson would have found it difficult, then someone entering from outside elite boxing, like Rico, is left with virtually no room for mistakes against a fighter viewed as even more technically refined than Iron Mike.
Mike Tyson was a much bigger sensation in his day than Usyk is in his day.
Yes.
Mike Tyson was much more feared and considered a more unbeatable heavyweight champion. He was in his mid-20s when he got upset by Douglas. Usyk's nearly 40. He's never captured the imagination of the public. He doesn't look invincible. And yet, if you said who would win, Usyk at his best or Tyson at his best, Tyson ain't beating Usyk.
I don't think so.
I don't even think Tyson would think he's beating.
So.
And Lennox had already been knocked out by Oliver McCall. So Lennox was known as not being chinny, but a guy who you could knock out. And Mike Tyson, in retrospect, was more like Usyk's bag is so deep. He's got the heart. He's got the chin. I don't think Usyk is a guy that you're just gonna he's susceptible to a knockout. In a certain way, I think the odds are disrespectful to Usyk because in certain ways he's less vulnerable than Lennox or Mike.
This isn't only about a difference in ability. Kellerman also points to a far deeper psychological edge, suggesting that Usyk operates with a mindset similar to Muhammad Ali's historic readiness to push himself to the absolute limit in a fight, even under extreme danger. That kind of mental toughness and relentless intensity creates a frightening pressure that Rico Verhoeven may not be fully equipped to handle or match when it matters most inside the ring.
Saying like, when Mike has said it about Ali, we mentioned it earlier, he was like, Muhammad Ali was willing to die for this. I'm not willing to die for this. And Usyk is the type of dude, I think you have to be ready.
In a surprising twist, Kellerman even concedes that, on paper, Rico Verhoeven may have a wider range of inventive ways to secure a win. But that doesn't necessarily make things safer for him. Instead, it transforms the matchup into a high-pressure illusion of opportunity, where Rico might technically come out victorious, yet still suffer heavy damage to his reputation and be exposed in the process.
It would be a big win for Verhoeven if it is competitive. Verhoeven has more paths to victory. He can win the event in more different ways than Usyk because he doesn't have to technically win in order.
Despite being written off by many, Rico Verhoeven finally speaks out with calm confidence, reminding everyone he's still a champion with serious power. At the same time, Usyk knows better than to underestimate him, because at this level, no opponent can be taken lightly.
You expect to beat Oleksandr Usyk May 23rd?
Of course. Well, let's say of course. I think, in my opinion, I believe I can do it. Maybe, I don't know. If I judge him as a person and as a champion, he talked about it, but he's not overlooking me. He's talked about it, but he knows that there's definitely a challenge in front of him, and that's not like being put aside like that. And of course, the question comes like, oh, what are you gonna do after this? Because everybody expects him to win. But yeah, let's see if he can.
Rico raises the intensity by directly warning Usyk that no amount of film study or high-level sparring can truly prepare him for what he brings. He claims he will introduce an unconventional approach that boxing has never seen before, turning the fight into an unpredictable puzzle for the undefeated technician to solve.
I think I'll beat you is because I'm bringing something different to the table that you haven't seen before. You've seen everything there is in the sport of boxing. And I know you're a champion, you have a champion mindset, and you've been watching all my videos and dissecting everything, and your team has been doing that, and you've been getting sparring partners and as much information as possible. But still, I'll bring something to the table that you haven't seen before. And that's gonna be the difference, the biggest difference. And that's gonna be the reason why I'm gonna beat you.
Rico pushes back against the criticism with confidence, insisting that this is exactly how he wins. He argues that while Usyk has repeatedly mastered the challenges of pure boxing, he hasn't been tested against the ingrained instincts and physical rhythm of an elite kickboxing champion. By dragging Usyk into unfamiliar territory, Rico intends to disrupt his technical control and use that stylistic clash to flip the fight in his favor.
Why do you expect to beat him here?
That's funny that you say that, because that's the same what he has. When he's here and there's another boxer in front of him, like, why do you expect to win? And why does everybody expect him to win? Because he always wins. And it's the same with me within kickboxing. I always won. So, of course you're gonna win. No, but it is not, of course. We, as champions and as athletes, we work our off to be the best versions of ourselves and to make it look easy. That's a totally different thing. It is not easy, but we make it look easy. So I think with that being said, for me, coming in as a kickboxer is something that he hasn't seen before. He's dissected the sport of boxing like no other. Like he's been taking that puzzle out and putting it back together, taking it out and putting it back together. So he knows everything about the sport.
But not about your sport.
But not about
Driven by an unwillingness to remain within familiar limits, Rico says that mastering his own discipline was never the final goal. Instead, he chose to step beyond his comfort zone and put everything on the line for the chance to take down a true legend. That all-or-nothing mindset transforms the matchup from a crossover fight into a defining battle for legacy and ultimate supremacy.
Why not accept the challenge? It is, like you said, he's considered arguably like one of the best boxers to ever do it. So what an honor and what an opportunity I have. I've conquered everything within the sport of kickboxing, and now getting the opportunity to do it within the sport of boxing, I love it. Like, never get comfortable.
Why wouldn't I take this challenge, he explains, noting that his opponent is regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time, making it a rare honor and major opportunity. Having already dominated kickboxing, he now sees this as his chance to test himself in boxing as well, staying motivated by a mindset of never getting too comfortable. Meanwhile, Tony Bellew describes the event as astonishing, but highlights the real risk. The biggest unknown is how Rico's boxing skills will translate at the highest level, and that uncertainty makes the matchup especially dangerous.
It's an unbelievable spectacle, and the ring keep providing us with these crazy spectacles and crazy events. It's the location for this one that's just, I can't get my head around it. It'll be the experience of a lifetime. You break it down, and when it comes to the fight, Rico Verhoeven is a problem. He's a problem, and we don't actually know much about him from a boxing perspective, but we know nothing really. He's had one bout and you cannot take anything from that at all. His kickboxing experience tells you an awful lot.
However, Bellew also stresses that Usyk is known for cracking even the most complex problems in the ring, suggesting that Rico's unorthodox kickboxing-based approach may only be effective in the opening rounds. Once the early confusion fades and Usyk adjusts to the rhythm, the fight could quickly shift, turning into a harsh and painful lesson for the heavy underdog.
At the same time, Oleksandr Usyk is the problem that no one can solve. He is the puzzle that no one can figure out. And I think the same will apply to Rico Verhoeven in a boxing ring with him. If this was a kickboxing match, I'm trying to tell you, Alexander's in an awful lot of trouble. Do not take a kick off him. Thankfully for Oleksandr Usyk, this is a boxing match. And I think once them first 3 or 4 rounds pass, and that awkwardness and stance and style Oleksandr Usyk figures out, I think Rico could be in for a hard night.
He approaches this high-stakes clash as a professional obligation, treating it like a necessary step rather than a spectacle. With total focus on the task ahead, he prepares for battle, while leaving the final outcome of this risky crossover matchup completely to chance.
It's my work. You know, we prepare. All people prepare for fight, but win, give on.
Refusing to take any risks lightly, His camp is preparing with the same level of intensity they would use against elite heavyweights like Tyson Fury. They've brought in specific sparring partners designed to replicate the unusual rhythm and movement of a kickboxing-style opponent, making sure every detail is covered. Fully aware of the challenge ahead, they know stepping into the ring with Rico will be far from straightforward or comfortable.
Of course, it's a tough fight. Listen, for me, doesn't matter. It's a wrestler, kickboxer, but or boxer. My prepare 100%. My prepare now is like same for Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, but all my rivals. But I'm not say how it's not good boxing. I training not hard. I more training, more do it new exercise. But sparring partner, we become sparring partner. Yes, different sparring partner who same with Rico, but we training hard every day. Oof. It's a fighter. It's dangerous guy.
Very.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but for me, it's not easy.
Addressing the criticism that he has no business sharing the ring with someone outside traditional boxing, he zooms out to the bigger picture of the global spotlight surrounding the event. In his view, both he and Rico are elite performers stepping onto the sport's largest stage, prepared to deliver a spectacle that matches the expectations of their massive worldwide audience.